Hey everybody, I'm at the AMC 17 Cinemark movie theater here in Fayetteville, Georgia, and I just saw this movie right here. That one, Black and Blue. Black and Blue stars one of my favorite actresses, Naomi Harris. Remember her as Monty Penny and James Bond, alongside Tyrese Gibson, Frank Grillo, and the incomparable Mike Coulter, who plays Luke Cage and also is on CBS Evil on Thursday nights. I believe they actually moved it to Tuesday, but I digress. Black and Blue is a movie that is a great basic story whose execution was somewhat less than. I'll explain why. This is a spoiler-laden review. It stars Naomi Harris as Alicia West. Alicia West is a rookie cop with the New Orleans police force who just joined the force about a year ago. Prior to that, she served 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan for our country. And she came to the police force because she grew up in New Orleans and basically left home when she was 17 years old. So she's new and trying to fit into an all-male police force. There's no other female police officer that works at her other than the captain, who works in the department. At least that's the way the movie is written. At any rate, what happens is she goes on what seems to be a routine ride with her partner, and except the person that she's going with is not her normal partner. It's a guy that she said she would ride with because the guy that normally rides with her, who's also her partner, had kind of a date night, family time, special time, and so she says, I'll fill in for you. So she does. It's a little rocky the first night. The next day, they go to this beaten down, run down, seemingly closed brick kind of what used to be factory someplace in the Ninth Ward of New Orleans. He orders her to stay in the car, and she does so. There's this random fellow walking along, older, heavy-set kind of black fellow, and he goes up to the car that's in front of her. Even though she's in a police car, he tries to actually pick the lock on the car, and she goes, "Oh no, you're not going to be that stupid, right?" So she gets out to say to him, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she was going to go and arrest him, and he gets away. But she doesn't really go after him. She starts to look at the car and, what's in the car, right? And as she's looking at the car, because she thinks the car looks a little suspicious, it's a Chevy Camaro SS. She suddenly hears not one gunshot, but 2. Loud. Coming from the building where her partner went into, the man that told her to stay in the car. So she goes in to do what any great police officer would do, investigate what the heck is happening, run to the action, right? And she happens upon a police execution in progress of the young black kid. And the person that's doing the executing is a guy named Tommy Malone, played by Frank Grillo. Now you're thinking, oh, I've heard that Frank Grillo guy before. Think of the Captain America series, Captain America Winter Soldier, Captain America Civil War, and then of course you think of the man that said he had a building dropped on him by Captain America, one of the Hydra agents or Hydra team. That's Frank Grillo. Now, the movie basically then turns to her trying to find help in the neighborhood to get away from these cops that are chasing her because she's got a body cam. Because they tried to shoot her and failed to kill her, failed to even get her. And make a long story short, she goes back to this market where she was earlier. Tyrese Gibson is the proprietor of the market. He wants nothing to do with her, but he gives her refuge. And it turns into where she's trying to figure out how to get a ride to the police station to just get out of there. He doesn't have a car. And here's where the movie really loses me, okay? This is 2019. There's no indication that movie was made as a period piece or some other time when there wasn't a ride share, right? Everybody had smartphones. Everyone's using them. So why couldn't she just simply call Uber or Lyft and get a ride to the police station downtown? Or even better, yeah, if she didn't want to go to the police station, she could have went to a television station with the body cam. They would have put it on television, made a whole big to-do about it, and the mayor and the police and everybody would have had to answer for it and made for a better movie. But they didn't do that. Instead, you guessed it, she couldn't get out of the neighborhood, and eventually what happens is that Mike Coulter's son, because Mike Coulter's son Zero was shot. Michael Coulter plays a man named Darius. Darius' other son figures out how to crack the body cam code. The reason why they get that far is because Malone, through his police people, have told the folks in the neighborhood, who they sort of have under control. It's like these white cops using black folks who are poor and getting drug money from them, right? He's got them, and he's basically saying to them, I'm trying to find this lady, and she shot this kid, and she's a cop, which is a lie, all right? So everybody in the neighborhood's looking out for her. She can't get out. She hasn't figured out how to use Uber or Lyft or call a cab. Keep that in mind, okay? So finally, the neighborhood people find her, and they bring her to Mike Coulter. And Mike Coulter's just, he's already found Tyrese. He's been beating him up. He's threatening to kill her. And it turns out that the woman that is somehow associated or married to Mike Coulter, Darius, is the sister or related to Alicia West's, and they grew up together, but instead of her going to Afghanistan with her, she stayed behind in New Orleans. All right. So, his son, Darius doesn't believe it. Darius is just about to do something terrible to Alicia, and all of a sudden his son figures out how to activate the video, and the video plays, and Darius sees it. Mike Coulter's character sees it, and that's when the whole movie changes, and they begin to help her. By this time, because Malone has lied to the police people and said that Alicia West did it, they have a whole army of police officers coming down there, and then Tyrese dresses as a police officer. He basically takes Alicia's clothes, makes his way down the police station, uploads the video, and then the female captain sees it and calls and says, "Stand down, Alicia West is innocent." And that's basically how the movie ends. So like I said, it was a good movie. I love Naomi Harris' character, Naomi Harris as an actress and character in this movie, but it could have been so much better. There's a reason why it got 47 on Rotten Tomatoes, excuse me, whatever it's called. But there's a reason why it got that, because it had so many scenes that were basically kind of far-fetched, even for a movie that is supposed to be realistic, right? But you know that people understand how to use Uber and Lyft in this day and age. Anyway, subscribe to Zenny62. See ya.